What's up, everybody? It's your girl Kiwan, and I am back with BMF Season 4, Episode 10, Dream Deferred. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Make sure y'all like the video so I can stay in the algorithm, y'all. I appreciate all my new subscribers, y'all. I am 61 away from 500. I appreciate everything y'all do for me. I love y'all to the moon and back. I promise. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. I'm trying really hard to push out content. Let me see. I will do my best to give y'all Ready to Love tonight. Tomorrow, I meant to say in my last video, I have a hair appointment. So I don't know if we're going to get content tomorrow, which is Love and Marriage Huntsville and what's that other one? Love and Marriage Huntsville and Heart and Hustle Houston. I don't know yet. That just depends. So I may just come home and relax for the day. Because I haven't even set to do a live yet. And I only did one live on Love and Marriage Huntsville, but I've just been busy. I've been busy, y'all. Anyway, I'm so sorry, and I'm still under the weather, but I'm getting better. So if you know some good remedies, let me know. Drop it in the comments, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Okay. So back in Mexico, y'all know the federales were shooting at T, Meech, and Loco, right? So we find out there's a helicopter that's coming for those three so they can escape. Loco runs for it and he gets shot. Meech runs over to Loco, and Terry basically was like, listen, ain't no way I'm getting shot for no damn plug. Come on, me and my brother need to get on this helicopter and we can leave Loco here. Y'all know Terry ain't shit. Like, I there are parts of Meech that get on my nerves, but Terry ain't. Okay, he will. I think sometimes what irritates Meech is that Terry don't see the bigger picture. Like, Terry is always putting himself in his box, and Meech sees far beyond that, you know. And I think sometimes Terry think that Meech see way too far than what he's supposed to. Like, I don't know. So we get back in current time, right? Meech think B. Mickey and Detective Brian are working together. He tell Hoop that they have a new plug and a new stash, and Terry tells Hoop to call B. Mickey to find out what's his plan, right? So Terry phone ring. It's the sack chaser. First of all, we appreciate Meech for Markeisha knew her name, the sack chaser, blah, 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 sack chaser, because that's what she is with her whole ass. Okay, I don't like Markeisha. Okay, so she called Terry to tell him what Boom did to her. He T-boned my car, and he was like, we got a lot of stuff going on, so I ain't gonna be able to get to you, but I got security around the clock for you. And she was like, you need to get here now. I was like, ma'am, we don't like you like that. Okay, please get up out of our face. Okay. So in the next scene, Brian and the cops, they still looking for B. Mickey, but no luck. They have no luck. We get to the Flannery home. Nicole is taking the rest of her stuff, bringing the rest of her stuff downstairs. She found a Section 8. She's moving out. She got her a Section 8 apartment while Breeze gets a job at the Pepsi plant. Raw Dog tell her, listen, we're not letting you up. We're not letting you off the hook for college. And so she was like, listen, I'm going to get some college courses, you know, here. And then when the baby gets older, I'm going to go to Morris Brown. But then, you know, what's his name? Breeze is waiting for the upcoming semester to start so he can go back to Morris Brown. So Raw Dog, Lucille was tell Raw Dog, listen, it's so many changes around here, and it's just, you know, it's hard. And so she was like, listen, I have a meeting with the elders so they can select what if I'm gonna be their pastor or if the other lady's gonna be their pastor, right? The next scene, Hoop called B Mickey to set up everything, right? B Mickey then calls home because he hadn't heard from Aisha. He left her a voicemail asking her to pick the phone up. So we know Lamar still holding Aisha and V hostage in that hearse as they head out to Atlanta, so he can get with B Mickey because B Mickey played him to the left, right? So Aisha called herself trying to escape, but she almost got caught. Like, girl, don't be a dummy. Don't be a dummy. So at this point, we get back to Meech's house. Ashley's still there. Like, why is that Disney girl still at your house? Okay? Not the Disney girl. So, back at the hospital. First of all, LaWanda is a good one. Because I'd have punched that hoe right in her face, right in that hospital bed. Okay? Listen, I do not like that sack chaser. Okay? So, LaWanda goes to the hospital to see if Markeisha is alright. And apparently, with all the arguing and all of that, they both decide that they not going nowhere. Well, we know LaWanda can't go anywhere because she got kids. Well, not really go anywhere, but she's still in Terry's life because of the kids. Markeisha think, because she got the man peen in the man heart, that she gonna be there, and it's like, okay, he just whipped, and it's exactly what Meech said. He whipped, point blank in a period, right? So Hope meet with B Mickey, and I'm sorry, before that, both Markeisha and LaWanda decide they just gonna tolerate each other. Fine. So Hoop meet with B Mickey and tell him that Meech was arrested, and he tells him, I don't trust Terry, because ever since everything happened with Meech, his decisions have been real questionable. Y'all know Hoop trying to get B Mickey to spill the beans and plot out what his plan is. But B Mickey's so dumb, and he's so just ready to unalive them two, that he hung himself to dry. This was the start of him hanging himself to dry. So B Mickey was like, bet, maybe we can take over BMF. Hoop was like, what? You serious? That's crazy. So he asked, listen, you still working with Detective Brian? So he was like, no, I never work with him again. But he was like, I did unalive last. Why would you tell him that, Mick? Like, why would you say? Again, B Mickey is dumb. So Hoop tell B Mickey, listen, we need to meet up at Thomas Square to set it, and then we'll set everything up so we can set T up, and then we can do the damn thing, right? So he get back to Meech and T and tell him everything that B Mickey did and said. He said, I know I don't like B Mickey, but this nigga is grimy as, okay? So Meech was like, listen, I got a plot next to his mama and Kato, and y'all know Kato was the first baby mama. She was with BMF, and I think she did some grimy stuff, so she had to go, right? And that's just what's supposed to happen. We gonna see where B Mickey's fate is sealed. Okay. So Lamar. Well, Aisha called B Mickey. Lamar takes the phone and he tells B Mickey to have to tell him, listen, I got your baby mama and your girl. And he let Lamar know, listen, I'm meeting with Meech and Terry, and they're, to take so we can take them out. So Lamar kind of thought about it, but then he was like, okay. But if you notice, B Mickey lied because, well, not technically, because Hoop told Mickey that Meech was in jail, but in order to stay on Lamar's good graces, he lied and told him, listen, we gonna meet with Meech and Terry, because y'all know everybody thinks Meech is responsible for pretty much everything. So Hardy says that dispatch received a call that fit the description of Aisha and V, and even with the hearse or whatever. So now they looking for that. Lamar tells Aisha they end up in the hotel room. He tells Aisha about Zoe, and then he tells Aisha, I lost everything because of Meech. Aisha was like, well, we lost everything because of B Mickey lost everything because of Meech. So really, B Mickey isn't your enemy, but Meech is your enemy, right? So Lamar then tells Aisha, that B Mickey was the one that shot and killed and unalive Kato. Aisha said, "I don't believe you," and she was like, "I was there. Yes, he did." And Aisha was like, "But she was pregnant." Now Lamar didn't know Kato was pregnant, and he was like, "Damn, that's up." And so she was like, he was like, she realized at that moment B Mickey had been lying to her the entire time, and and now, sorry y'all, Lamar is trying to get rid of B Mickey and somehow become a dad in his family. Like, he was like, how you gonna just come and swoop this lady family up this man family up like that? That lady don't want you like that. Anyway, Hoop and Meech have a conversation. He apologized about, about B Mickey. No. He apologized to Meech, and he said that he's down for BMF. He said, how T can be sometime. And so he said, "I'm in BMF for life," right? He said he didn't mean to disrespect. What did I write? Basically, Hoop want Meech and Terry to get their shit together so they can come back as a family so we can be BMF again, right? At this point, they can't come back. Meech won't come back from what Terry did in Mexico. Like, Meech just can't forgive that. He was just dancing around it, but ultimately he really ain't trying to hear that or forgive that. So T sent the sack chaser some flowers to the hospital bed. She tells T that LaWanda threatened her, and I'm just looking at her like, LaWanda should have whooped your ass. Quiet as it's kept, okay? And then he tells her that they're moving to California. So you gonna take this raggedy hoe, and you gonna move her to Cali while with her kids. That's by another man. You gonna take her to California, but you gonna leave LaWanda here with your kids. Terry just stupid. Okay, Terry is stupid. Okay, he's stupid. All right. So then B Mickey arrived at the mall. Hoop shows up. Hoop T and Meech shows up, and he realized that he'd been set up. And then here in come Lamar with he have Aisha on his arm, but he blasting at them with a machine gun. So Detective Brian pull up, and he found baby V in the hearse just laying there. She just laying there smiling. I was like, oh wow. And I guess he put her in a cop car till everything was done and finished. So B Mickey hit Lamar, and then he ended up unaliving Lamar. And then, thought he unalived Lamar. And then Aisha come out, and she confront him about Kato. And so he was like, no, I'm sorry, y'all. She confronted him about Kato. And then she kneeled down to kind of console Lamar. And he gets pissed. He pissed off at this point. Now, Meech, Terry, and Hoop can hear Detective Brian's voice. So they shoot out the back. They get away. Like nobody know that they're there. So as he have his gun, Detective Bryant, B Mickey grabbed. When I tell you this is terrible. He grabbed Aisha and put the gun to her head, and I'm looking at him like, really? So Detective Brian had to unalive B Mickey, and then he found out that Lamar was unalive, right? So, police arrived, everybody arrived, but y'all know the other three swooped somewhere out the back, and they back at Meech's house. So Aisha, I'm sorry, y'all. So Aisha called Pastor Lucille to let her know that B. Mickey was killed, right? And she tells her, listen, I want you to receive his body because he put me and my daughter through hell, and I just want to move on with my life. And he did. So Raw Dog called Meech to let him know what happened to B. Mickey, which they knew. And so he was like, what? Somebody unalive B. Mickey. And so Pastor Lou was like, listen, did y'all do this? Meech was like, listen, me and T a lot of things, but we ain't no killer. Okay. And they was like, Ma, we want you to officiate the service. We gonna send him out. We gonna pay for the service and everything. So they hung up. And T was like, we're not paying for his services. Y'all know Meech. Yes, we are. I said, okay. So Raw Dog tells Lucille, you get to the funeral. At the funeral, hold on, y'all, I'm so sorry. So, we get to the funeral, and, you know, it was a beautiful service. Service. And so, Raw Dog tells Lucille, listen, I'm not coming back to Detroit, but I'm gonna stay here in Atlanta, and it's a fresh start, you know. So Lucille start to cry, and I said, wait, hold up. You done gave my nigga Raw Dog a hard time, and now you want to cry because he gone? That man said, don't cry for me, Argentina. Okay? Listen, you stay right here. Okay? I'm gonna get out your hair. That's what you wanted. But he ain't say it like that, you know. He was like, I'm just giving you what you wanted, and I feel like we, you know, are better where you are out there and I'm here, you know. I say this, then Lucille had the nerve to cry hard. Like, girl, you don't get out of my face. But I get it, because she went from 5 people in the house to just her. Right? So Meech, when he was on the phone with Raw Dog and Lou, they realized how they was gonna get those drugs packaged out right in front of their face through the limos and the hearse and the limos. Right? So Lucille, she's sitting with the elders, and they still trying to get in her business. And Lucille was like, you know what? Go to hell. I quit. And she got up and she left. Like, we ain't about to do all of this. Okay, y'all not accusing my sons of murder. They didn't murder nobody. Okay, I told y'all they was entrepreneurs, and y'all already know that. Which technically they are. They are. Okay? And so, Meech and Terry finally air out all of their grievances. How they felt, like how they going, they about to go their separate ways. They talk about the situation that happened in Mexico. Terry was like, listen, you wanted to save Loco, I wanted to save you. And when I got on that plane, when I got up, when I left, I thought about our family here in Detroit. And so Meech was like, you a selfish mother so-and-so. You ain't think about nobody but yourself. Low key, I do feel like T thought about himself. But at the same time, we have a family back at home. But I get it. Meech was like, you gotta protect your plug. And so it's just time. Meech, Terry was like, listen, I wish things could have went back to the way they were. Meech was like, they could never go back to the way it was. He was like, I don't need you anymore. I have my own disciples. So they both leave with their FUs in their hand, and that's that. So we flash forward to 3 months later. Detective Brian has proven himself, and now he's on the task force, right? He's still trying to find BMF, trying to arrest BMF, but now they have to work with Mike Taylor, who's head of the DEA, right? So Meech bought himself a mansion. Him and Raw Dog head over there. He was like, listen, Dad, I want you to what did he say? I want you to help me fix it up, just the way I like it. So y'all know Raw Dog gonna help him fix it up. So he said Raw Dog was like, listen, I'd be lying if I said I agree with the way you and Terry make y'all living. But you achieved so much than I could ever dream. And he said, for that, I am proud of you. Meech tell Raw Dog, I'm proud of you too. And he wants to now launch a new label called BMF, a new record label called BMF, right? So Meech then, Raw Dog tell Meech that Terry is moving to Cali with him and Markeisha. And he was like, all right, go in there, go look at the house, blah, blah, blah. Meech picked up the phone, called Terry, and went off. Like, you were supposed to be in Detroit, and now you gonna go in Cali acting like you the man. I'm the man. Y'all know, any chance Meech get, he gotta insert his dominance over Terry. All right? Any chance he get. So, Boom find out from his sons that his boys and Markeisha are moving to California, right? He pissed. So, he ready to KILL. So Lucille sitting at the Flannery home, reflecting over everything. They do a montage over the years from everybody sitting at the table eating. Everything that was said in the house, yada yada yada. So she go twist in that room with that all into one outfit. She grabbed that fur coat, baby. I don't know if it's cold out there in Detroit. I don't know if it's cold, warm, fall. I don't know. But my girl grabbed her brown fur that Michi bought for her, and and she went ahead and what did she do? Oh, she went just saying blah, blah, blah. The lady went to the damn diner, okay? She headed to the diner, okay? Y'all gotta forgive me in my words. I'm working on it, right? And so she just looked like the typical drug dealer mama. Okay, all she need is that little fan. Y'all remember that old fan chair that everybody used to sit in at the club? My aunties and them had pictures like that. It was the brown chair, and it looked like it was made out of brown straws. It had the big old, the little holes in it, and all the ladies sat in there with their legs crossing their hands like this. It was the picture. It was the perfect chair for all the drug dealer girlfriends, okay? Everybody took a picture in that chair, okay? Anyway, Worm, Nicole had the baby in her hand. She was going to Breeze, and Worm tell her, Worm just looking at her and the baby, and she was like, don't worry, the baby isn't yours. How do we know? We ain't never get a Dana test. We ain't never get none of that to see if this baby was his. Okay, we still need to know. We need to find out. Okay. She was like, don't worry, this ain't your kid. And he said, would it be so bad if it was? And baby, the way she was smiling, and if y'all notice in the background, Lucille in her fur coat was watching. Okay. So LaWanda go up to Terry and say, you really leaving? And baby, when I tell y'all Tyler LaPlay, aka DeMarcus, aka Diamond, baby, LaWanda new man walked up to her. I was like, that's how you clear a bitch. So y'all know Terry got jealous. He was mad. First of all, sir, you and your cockeyed and that sack chaser are moving to California. Okay? So he tried to play it cool, and so Diamond was like, I work in the mayor's office. And he said, LaWanda needed to be treated like a queen and then some or whatever. And so he was like, what did he say? Basically, Boom and his boys shot up the diner. We don't know what happened after that. So over back in ATL, at the strip club, we find out Ashley and Meech finna have a damn baby. Okay? She was like, you gonna have a Lil Meechy Jr.? Girl, why y'all got that Disney girl in here pregnant? Okay? And then Maria come. You know, and she hugs him. Now I thought Ashley was gonna see all this. I thought this was gonna be a whole thing, but it wasn't. So he hugged Maria, and Maria was like, "I miss you. Do you know this big head ass fool looked at Maria and said, I miss you too. Niggas ain't shit. You got this hoe over here pregnant. And you gonna tell this other lady that you miss her too? And then he gonna say, look, Maria, I'm finna have a baby. Maria looked at him and said, that's real fucked up, Meech. And it was. And she left. She was like, bye. Like, girl, count your losses. Alright? So a woman named Karina, who apparently works with Trail, and baby, I thought Trail was unalive. Okay? Why do I ain't unalive Trail? I thought he was gone. Okay? Walked up to Meech, trying to get her, you know, want him to do the same thing he did to Purdy, because she was like, Trail is controlling. And so that's when Trail and his security or whatever, they were all at the strip club. And so his boy roll up on Meech and they all start to tussle, right? So Brian get a call that there's a fight that broke out at the strip club. That's what BMF have their parties or whatever. So Meech get arrested. What's her name? Tony. She made a mistake and slit the wrist of the bodyguard. And then Meech did the dumbest thing. He took the bottle out of her hand. That's how he got the blood on his hand. And he threw it in a trash can. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And Brian was, y'all know Brian be hard and be ready to arrest anything BMF. Anything that's walking BMF, Brian is ready to take it down. Okay? So he arrested Meech, and he arrested, what's her name? Tony? I think her name was Tony. I be forgetting her name. He arrested her, you know, and this was where the season finale ended. I want to say these people have two more. Their contract, their contract has been renewed for another season, I think. I'm not sure. Y'all really need to be reading up on that. But they've been arrested. This is where the season finale ended, and yeah, this is where we go from there. Listen, if you have not, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification once again, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.